What's up, guys? nethervvoid here with more elite dangerous space truckers for you. Gonna be a pretty good episode, hopefully. I'm just checking my audio real quick to make sure, yeah, I'm still good. I had to adjust my mic because a couple of previous videos I had recorded, the mic was too high. So anyway, I'm in my Sidewinder. I have 10 storage spaces or 10 tons of storage as I had last episode. Nothing's really changed. I have done some runs off camera. You can see I have a 50,000 balance. And somebody was saying I should get the ASP instead of the hauler, but because the ASP you can do like 4 more tons of space. I think it's 20% more, but the hauler is only 53,000 and the ASP is like 80, and I can't buy the ASP in this system. Let's go. Well, I can't look here because this is the Alescu station, which does not have Shipyard. So let's go in here and buy our typical bio waste here. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I already have. Oh, a lot. No, I already have those. Okay, cancel. I've already bought the waste, and it's just time to fly to the next place. So, we're gonna check the shipyard. We'll double check it, and I'm gonna show you that the ASP is not here. And also, I think it's probably a good idea for me to move up to the hauler because I can always sell the hauler for a better ship, and the hauler, I think, tops out at 22 tons of cargo, and that's gonna help me out a lot as far as you know, getting money a lot faster or accumulating wealth much quicker. So we're going to wait a minute. Go. Oh, seeking luxuries. What the heck is that? That's odd. I mean, somebody must be, I don't know, it must be a message or something, I don't know. So anyway, Dalton Gateway, there it is. So we're going to do what we do every time, as usual. And that's what Space Truckers is all about. It's not really about cool gameplay, it's about what we're going to talk about. So, I know, well, it's yesterday for you guys, but for me it's today. And I'm about to sneeze, and I'm trying not to sneeze. But, that there was a shooting in Paris, France today. It was some terrorists that went in and shot up this satire publication group, which I think is kind of, I mean, because I guess they draw satirical jokes about the Muslims and Islam, right? So basically what these guys did is came in with machine guns and just wasted a bunch of people, and they claimed it as an act of terror that's going to keep going on or something like that. And I'm not exactly sure what their statements were on the matter, but I did want to talk about how kind of idiotic that really is. I mean, not only is it just a tragedy to have people like that be killed over drawing jokes, basically. I mean, what you did is you told a joke. Let's say you're in a bar, you told a joke, and someone shot you in the face for it. And that seems obviously like way, overdone. You don't need to shoot someone in the face because they said a joke. You know what I mean? Or even if they have a business that makes money off, making jokes, why you don't shoot them in the face to stop them? It's stupid. Oh, 3, 1, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, there we go. Another thing that what it does is you actually, by doing that, the terrorists are actually creating more problems for themselves. They're not really solving any problems, and they're not damaging anything. Kind of like how 9/11 happened. They're like, oh, this is going to damage, the American economy and blah blah blah. But it actually, I mean, didn't really do damage. What it did, and it didn't scare people really. I mean, I think probably there were less flights. People were flying less for a little while. But overall, the economy, I don't think took really hit. I think what the big thing that happened was the American people, united, which is something we don't typically do very often, behind a common, a common cause, and we're cool with people, going to war and let's go bomb people, and it was like they brought more hell on themselves from doing that than if they just had chilled out and, maybe found a different way to air their grievances or something like that. So that did not help their cause, if you think about it. Yes, they took 2 buildings down, they killed, like, I think it was, I want to say it's about 1,000 American citizens, It could be a lot more than that. I have not looked up on the facts of the 9/11-ish, you know, when the planes crashed into the Twin Towers. But that's not a lot of damage, really. It's one building in America. It wasn't like I would have crashed into the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, people wouldn't have died, but that's a much more iconic structure. Twin Towers, which are very iconic structures, sure, it's not something that
docking request granted.
People are gonna, you know, pay too much attention on too far in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you destroyed the Statue of Liberty, that's something that we're gonna feel the pain of for like a long time. I'm not saying do that.
Scan detected.
All right, I'm not advocating that or saying go do it. I'm not. But my point is, like, you destroyed a building, and then we went in, like, destroyed, like, bombed whole countries. You know, so it's like killed the leader. We just like tore people up over that. So really, that operation was done at a loss. I think a net loss if you think about it. I think in the Arab world, those people were kind of heroes and stuff. The problem is, it just, I don't know if they knew. They probably never did, but that actually got a lot of people killed in the Arab world. You know, it disrupted a lot of things. It definitely got the Taliban thrown out of power. So it's like, if the Taliban would have known that, they might have told them, hey, don't do that. What are you doing? You're being stupid. This is what's going to happen. We went into the future. We have a time machine. Went into the future, and which is also, by the way, I think it's impossible to go into the future and come back. I think is impossible. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But if they would have known what was going to happen, they probably would have told them, look, this is stupid. First of all, it's not going to do any good. It's actually going to do more, it's going to do more harm than good. And secondly, it's going to bring us too much heat. So don't do it. This is dumb. In fact, maybe you should just get out of our land, because it's going to bring too much heat, and we're really not in the mood. I don't know. Maybe that's something they would have talked about. But since they didn't know that, because, I don't know, they're dumb, I guess. American people were cool with us going to war, and people got bombed and people got killed, which, again, I don't advocate killing or anything like that. I really wish everybody would just calm the hell down. And then some other people were saying, you know, that was actually, it almost feels like that could have been engineered in a sense to allow people to wage the wars they wanted to wage. And, you know, some people in the United States wanted to wage war, but they didn't have a reason to. They didn't have anything the American people backed. And so they're saying that was such an effective way to get the American people to be behind war with those terrorists and those groups and stuff, that you're actually helping the people that want to fight you to fight you. That, you know, don't you want to stop them from fighting you? Isn't that the whole point? Is not just revenge, but to get them to stop doing it? So that just makes it happen more. Anyway, obviously what they did was retarded, and no sane person would take that course of action. But the same thing really can be said about what happened in Paris. It's like, that's not going to... First of all, they're not going to stop making those caricatures. In fact, they're probably going to make more of them now. More of those groups are going to spring up and create... It's going to create more of those groups. So it's kind of like when you have poison oak or poison ivy, which if you're on the East Coast, you don't scratch it, okay? Because it spreads it around. All you did by going in and shooting up that building is you scratched the poison oak, and now you spread it all over, and it's going to be worse. You have to find a peaceful means to air grievances or to talk about things like that. So anyway, let's break from the topic a little bit to go in the shipyard here. So there's Sidewinder, Type 9 Heavy, obviously can't afford it. So there's the hauler, 52 grand. Oops, I skipped one. Then we have the Type 7 transport. Oh, here's the ASP. No, that's not it. Not the ASP. Somebody was saying, get something else. The Adder. The Adder's 80k. Commander Ragnarok was saying that. And I would love to get the Adder, except they don't have it here. 37 million. Yeah, so see, it's not here, and I really don't want to leave the system because I can't come back. So I wanted to get an upgraded ship before I left the system. I'll probably get an Adder eventually, but I'm not going to get one in the immediate future. I'm just going to get the hauler. So we're almost there. We need 52.7, and I'm going to also need some credits to kind of kit it out as far as getting the maximum amount of tonnage that I can haul. So I'll probably go about 2 or 4 grand over the 52.7, and that way I can buy a few modules to upgrade it a little bit anyway. But I'm definitely not waiting until 80,000. Okay, so we've already got our tonnage, right? If we look at the thing over here, yep, we do. So let's just get out of here. So yeah, back to our topic. Doesn't, you know, so it doesn't make sense. Not only is it not very bright to just go shoot people up, especially when all they did was make a joke. Like, they're making jokes, and they're doing it for a living. They're doing it because they have families to feed. Okay? It's not like it's kind of like that. I can't remember what I saw this on, but it was really, really interesting. And I need to flip over like this. There's a really interesting thing I saw. I think it was on Clerks, where he says, you know, he's not sure that blowing up the Death Star, he thinks it was an act of terror or something. And the other guy's like, what? No, that's... They were killing the Empire. It's totally fine. He goes, wait, though. If you think about it, there were like tons of totally innocent contractors and stuff on the Death Star, because there's no way they're going to hire a bunch of Empire dudes to do that, right? So they probably brought in outside contractors, and then those innocent guys got killed, you know, working aboard, you know, just trying to feed their families, building the Death Star. Well, the other argument was, well, they knew they were building the Death Star, which is a military vessel, so they might be the target of a military hit. And so, and he's like, I don't know, that you're right, but you know, that's a hard, I don't know. They were kind of making a joke about it, but it's true. Like, there can be some fallout from that kind of work, but at the same time, it's people trying to put food on their plates. It's not like you can just, oh, I don't like this job, I'll pick another one. You can do that. I mean, you can, but you might not get as good of a job. It might pay a lot less. Or there might not be an option for you to get another job. I know right now, recession has been pretty bad. We're coming out of it now in the United States, but it was pretty bad, and it's pretty bad in Europe still. So I'm not, you know, maybe they don't have an option to get another job. And so, sorry, I got to make these caricatures. I don't really have a choice. Now, I would say for their job, they probably did have a choice, but it's still one of the arguments as to why that was dumb. But really the main one is, yeah, you killed a few people, and now there's going to be huge backlash on you that's way worse than the damage from killing a few people that are going to be replaced anyway. They're not going to stop making those. They're just going to hire new people to do it. So you're dumb. You know, you didn't stop anything. That's like, I was reading this post from a guy on the site I frequent, and he said he found it egregious the other day that he went to this bar, and one of these girls was obviously drunk. I mean, she was falling over drunk with her friend, right? And her friend, same way, obviously drunk. They're very, very drunk. Well, this guy was like laughing about it and saying he loved him that way because it was like easier to, kind of in a way saying he was going to take easier to take advantage of him. No, that's not cool. Obviously, I don't condone that at all. So the guy stepped in and got the bouncer and said, look, you need to get these girls out of here. They're going to make a mistake that they don't even know they're making and stuff like that. And so the bouncer did. He stepped in and kind of got them cleaned up and sent them on their way. And that guy should be commended for that. I even said, yeah, you did a good job. Yeah, you should do that. Because he was saying, like, whatever does everybody think about that? You know, I couldn't believe this. The problem really is that what he did doesn't solve the problem. It solves the symptom of the problem. You know, problem being girls so off drunk like that, you know, they're going to get themselves hurt. They shouldn't be getting drunk like that out in public. It's really dangerous. And then secondly, that, you know, there are predators out there like that guy. And you know what, though? There's nothing you could do. You're not going to know who the predator guys are. You just don't. You're not going to know that. You do know who's drunk. And I think the bar maybe has some legal responsibility to cut people off. It could be some of that. That could really solve the problem a little bit. And I really need to do this before I get too close again.
Docking request granted.
Good. Let's slow down a little bit. So I told him, you know, because he was like, oh my god, this guy. He was like trying to blame the guy, and I was like, yes, it's the guy, right? But it's not just the guy. That's my point. I think it's both of them. It's the girls and the guy. Like, first of all, the girls are being stupid. They're super, super drunk. Like, to the point they're falling down. Like not tipsy or slurring, like falling down. You can't even move, right? You can't even do anything. Uh-oh. There we go. I can get some structural damage, and I think someone was saying I need to check my structural... my hull, because even though you go in there and fix it in the main menu, sometimes it doesn't fix all the hull damage. So I just think they need to fix that problem. You know, they're both, I think the woman, the girl and the guy, both at fault. Not at fault, really, just there are things, both of them, there are things that can help prevent the situation. Because I think that's the best way to have something not happen anymore. And it's the same thing in medicine. Medicine's a very prime example of this. If all you really ever do is fix the symptoms, the problem will persist and it will never go away. If you don't try to cure disease and vaccinate, the disease will keep coming back. Obviously, you didn't do anything to get rid of it. It's going to come back. So, I don't know. It would be nice to see something done about that situation where I think the bar just needs to cut people off if they're getting that tipsy. And they need to watch who's giving drinks to who and all that stuff, which I think they do pretty well anyway. But they need to watch that a little bit closer. I really think the onus is on the bar at that point to police it a little bit better. If you're selling a drug like that, you need to be a little bit more responsible about making sure people... Did I not buy any grain? I thought I did. You need to be a little bit more responsible, you know? Ooh, synthetic meat. I should be buying that, because I can actually buy that stuff now. So let me see if synthetic meat is a better deal. I'm pretty sure it is. I should be buying that, and now it's at high. So let's get some bio waste. Let's get, there we go, 10 tons of it. But anyway, so the symptom of the whole terrorist act is the terrorist act. I mean, that's the symptom of what's going on. It's definitely not the problem. It's something that's being caused by something else. The real issue, though, is by doing that, they're not only not solving the problem of maybe people saying things about the religion they don't like, they're encouraging more damage to be done to that, you know, against them and stuff. And I just, plus there's a bunch of people who have nothing to do with it now that might have to go through more security checks or have some kind of racial profiling done on them, and they didn't do anything and they don't agree with it. You know, but people are dumb, and there is gonna be racial profiling. I don't agree with it, but it exists.
Frame shift drive charging.
It's gonna be really hard to get rid of that, man.
4, 3,
I don't know.
2,
I just feel kind of bad about
engage.
that whole situation, and I don't even know how you'd fix it, really. It's such a deep-seated problem. It's just been there for so long, you know. Anyway, that was the topic for today. It's a little bit deep, and I'm kind of getting tired of talking about it already. So I was going to also talk about some people helped me with tips to the game, and so I wanted to kind of go through the last episode and the tips that were coming up. Let's do newest first, but let's start at the bottom here. So one of the tips was let's see, make sure, okay. Break Allegro is talking about make sure you get a fuel scoop when you do that rare routes run, because you don't want to have to stop at stations to refuel, or you're gonna have some long legs where you might not be able to, or something like that. So appreciate that. I do need to mess with I do want to mess with fuel scoops and kind of check them out. I don't even know how they work, so that's something you could put in the comment section. How do the fuel scoops work? I think, don't you have to scoop fuel from the star, or from a star? Anyway, let me know in the comment section how they work. Another tip, Break Allegro said always check the repair screen on the Starport Services page. At the top right, you'll find you have structural repairs that you need to keep up on that will not show up on the home refuel repair rearm screen. So I didn't even, that's right, that's the one I didn't check on just now. And thanks for that tip. I gotta watch this timer really close because it's a pain in the butt. So, let's see. Alright, so Crew Night says in the station different landing pads are lit up for other people, so it's not supposed to show only yours. And let's hit the break right there. Might have done a tad bit late. So it's not supposed to be only show your pad that's lit up. So that makes sense, because that's probably a very, very active station, even though I'm on solo. I wonder if it's pulling that in from from multiplayer. Probably not, but I don't know. Let's align real quick here. Let's get better alignment. Kind of can't wait to leave this system. It's going to be nice. It is nice they don't have to jump anywhere. Just station to station. That's kind of cool. It actually cuts out quite a lot of work on my part. So my haul runs are very, very fast. I should probably calculate... No, I should have get the new... Well, I know how much the profit is. I know I'll make some profit on the meat, that synthetic meat. I just want to check to see... We'll look at the profit next time I fly out there. Hopefully it's bigger than... I think I'm getting like 1,000 off the grain every trip. So, and then I make about 700 off this waste. So I'm getting about 1,700 per trip, which isn't that great, but it's not that bad. Could be a lot better, I guess, but it is what it is. So Trampoline, he gave me some other tips on I think in episode 2. I might have to go back and check those out, but he had some cool comments about, he's like, maybe I'm thinking that Elite, and I don't think I can do this yet.
Docking request granted.
Oh wow, okay, I thought you had to be within 5k. Sweet. Let's speed this up a little bit. That Elite really isn't an MMO. It's supposed to be a single-player space sim, right? So if you look at it in that regard, then it's done. Like, they did a good job. Well, it's not done. It's just they did a good job, and
scan detected.
There's not a lot else to do. Oh. Okay, good. Whoa! Wow, that's pretty crazy. All right, stopping, and I need to look for the pad here. Alright, 6. Where are the other ones? 16? It's probably right underneath me, it usually is. And let's just look around. I'm gonna get loitering. There it is. Okay. Okay, and let's put the gear down. But yeah, I can understand that. I don't think it could stay this way, really, because
landing gear deployed.
Why wouldn't you? You've done all this work to create this awesome game, and it could be so much more. I would be okay if it stayed like it is. I just think they have a real gem on their hands, and I would... Oh.
Hull integrity compromised.
Oh, stop.
Docking successful.
I just don't think it's a good idea to leave it like it is. It's got that sweet framework already, and you could totally add tons of systems to it. Now, like you said, though, Eve is a subscription-based MMO, and that's what they sell it as. I mean, that's what they talk about. There is no single player, and it gets content updates. I think it's 2 per year. There is what they're doing right now. But Elite, it will have more things added to it, but you don't have to pay for them. So that could also lead to a different type of game, right? Which makes sense. So let's go to repairs. Oh, hull. Okay. That's interesting. I thought I did all that, but maybe not. What's that? Oh. Paint job. Okay, it's not letting me do anymore. Oh. Ship integrity, we're good. Okay. We're gonna go back to commodities market. Sell this crap. That's funny. It actually is crap. And we get 740. So now let's look at synthetic meat. Right? Animal meat. Oh, we can't get it synthetic meat. Let me open my little trade thing here. I know I recorded these at one point, so I'm just going to look at what was good to trade. Let's see. Let's just change stations. It's not working. Why is it not? Huh, that's weird. It won't, oh, that's why. It keeps resetting all these settings I do, which I hate. I can't stand when it does that. Alright. Hold on, let me change the thing again. And we'll go back to here, I guess. Oh, come on. Okay, so, animal meat. Animal meat should be a lot of profit. So we're going to buy some animal meat. But it was kind of... And there we go. It's going to cost a lot, but it should return a lot. The problem with it is I really hope I don't take a loss. But I know they need it because it said low as far as demand. I just hope I get a lot more profit, which I'm pretty sure I will, because this thing says at the time I recorded it that I would get 235 profit per ton. So that'll be a lot more profit. That'll be awesome. But I don't know if that's the case. We're just going to have to check it and find out. So that's pretty much it for comments. Leave any more tips you want to leave for me in the comments section. I would really appreciate it. I will try to talk about it on each episode if we have time, and give you props and say thanks for giving me those tips. What are you doing? There we go. I really want to buy that. It'd be nice to be able to buy my ship today, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. We'll see, I guess. But that would be cool. Hurry up, dude. Unmask lock me. There we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now let's go look over here. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I thought I alt-tabbed out of here.
4, 3, 2,
so
1. Engage.
Let's see. Yeah, and then he also made another comment. He's like, MMOs give you like hundreds of hours of content over a certain amount of years, right? But he said, what am I expecting out of Elite? If it's a single player game, usually people expect, 50 or so hours of play, or maybe 100 or 200, right? Probably like 100. But on an MMO, you might spend 1,000 hours on it. So even looking at it from that perspective, I don't know. I guess if it's a single player game, I won't be expecting a lot out of it. I'll probably have to wait for updates. And with me, especially being a YouTuber, I'll probably never come back to this game. It's kind of like Don't Starve. I played Don't Starve from the beginning, like an early beta, and it had a lot of features, but there's a lot more features now. But once I played through it once and got to day 20, and I pretty much beat the game, there wasn't a lot else for me to do that I felt like I needed to do to survive, which is the part I was having fun with, surviving. I just quit the game. I quit playing. And I generally do not go back to games because there are so many new games coming out. It just seems like, I'll just play these because I really want to play them. And, oh, yep, overshoot. I didn't do it quick enough. I wish you could just set it to automatically do that at 7 seconds. And someone's like, well, what, you want it to automatically play the game for you? I'm like, well, for that stuff, yeah, because it's just a tedious thing to remember. I'd much rather spend my time thinking about something else, than remembering to hit 7 when I get to 7 seconds or something like that. It just seems like kind of crappy. But we'll see. Coming in on the station, so we're going to check to see how much profit we get here. So yeah, and a lot of people might only play this game for a few weeks. I mean, like a single-player game like Assassin's Creed, you might only play it for a few weeks, and then you kind of ditch it, you're done with it, and you probably never play it again, and you're off on some other game. But I kind of don't expect Elite to be like that because it is so multiplayer, and they've got such a cool framework that is a lot like EVE. I guess I expected an EVE-like game just because it's so similar in so many areas. Like, why would I want to mine for money all the time? I don't mine in EVE because it's fun. I do it because I make money, and I can buy ships to fight with, or I can buy things to do other things in the game with. So I guess that's the question is, I'm okay with grinding in MMOs, in a sense. I do not grind in my single-player games. I refuse to grind them in a single-player game. Like, this whole trade thing back and forth, it's too tedious for me. I won't do it. Now, yeah, if you like this kind of simulator where you could just jump back and forth, that's great, I think. I don't know a lot of people who do like that. Like, if you like the combat in WoW, like you like trash mobs and like killing 20 otters and stuff like that, I guess that's great. I don't really like it that much, though. So I don't get a lot out of it, and I won't do it in a non-MMO. I do it in an MMO because I'm there for the advancement. Like, I know it's going to advance my character, and that's why I do it. But I wouldn't do it in a single-player game. So I think that's a good question, is what will people put up with in an MMO that they wouldn't put up with in a single-player game, like grinding and very, very tedious things? Or is it different? For me, it is. It's definitely different. I don't know about you guys, but like I already talked about,
Docking request granted.
that's sweet. That is so cool. Punch it. Punch it, Margaret. Also, this is dumb. Well, I'm pretty sure we're not in the atmosphere, but when I put my gear out, it slows my... it creates drag or something. At least it feels like it does. It shouldn't create any drag, but I think it does. Anyway, we're almost here, and this episode's pretty much done. We won't be able to get the hauler this episode, but we'll probably get it the next episode for almost certain. Especially if I can do these, oops, that's the wrong way. Especially if I can get these trade runs to be more lucrative, I'll definitely be well on my way to getting it for next episode. So let's come in here and see how much we're going to get.
Docking
there
successful.
We go.
Engines
all right.
Disengaged.
So, let's do the starport services thing and see what we can do here. Very, very curious at the kind of profit we're going to get off this run here. So, animal meat. Sell. Nice. 2,300 instead of 1,000. So I did get 235 per unit. That's awesome per ton. So what's that? 55. We can buy it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy it. Let's wait. Let's just go back and buy it real quick. Alright. Let's get out of here. We'll try to do this really quick. We got nothing really to talk about because I'm done talking. But I want to get that ship on this episode. Actually, I'm going to make you guys wait till the next episode. As always, guys, stay frosty. Leave some stuff in the comment section. I will try to talk about it in the next episode.